Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, students. This is Chigu Alim. This week, we're going to start with a new chapter, which is chapter number 3 in your science textbook. And that chapter is called Matter. Now, for this video lesson, make sure you have your textbook ready in front of you because most of the things that are shown in the slide in this video are basically the same things as the one in your textbook. So if you have the textbook with you, that will make it easier for you to look at the images and also to read the text in the slides in this video and also in the book. This chapter is all about matter, and matter is anything that has mass and takes up space. So matter ni apa saja yang ada mass. Mass is barat and also and takes up space. So anything that can occupy space can be called matter. So most of the things that you see, hold, taste, or smell, and even things you cannot see, such as air, are made out of matter. So you can see here in this picture, these are examples of matter. There are a lot of things in this world that we call matter. Matter is everywhere. So you can say that almost everything in this world is what we call matter. So any object is basically a type of matter. Matter is anything that has mass and volume. So this includes trees, insects, and human beings, which are living things, as well as rocks, wood, and water, which are non-living things. So matter bukan saja untuk barang yang hidup pun dipanggil matter, barang yang indah hidup pun dipanggil matter juga. There is a great variety of matter on Earth. However, some things that exist are not matter, and that is heat and sound. So, banyak barang di dunia ni tadi panggil matter, macam buku, binatang, burung, pokok, tanah, angin. So, itu benda-benda matter yang tadi panggil matter. Tapi, so ada yang barang-barang yang bukan matter seperti heat, panas, dan juga sound, iaitu bunyi. All matter is made out of tiny particles. So these things called particles. These particles are so small that we cannot see them with the naked eye. So matter, if you zoom in to all objects in this world, if you really zoom them into the beyond the microscopic level, they are actually made out of these tiny balls, and these balls are what we call particles. And they are very tiny. You cannot see them with the naked eye. Indah nampak dengan mata kasar only if you have a really strong microscope, a really advanced type of microscope. So matter is made out of these tiny, small, round balls that we call particles, and all matters are made out of particles. Now, there are different types of matter. So there are 3 groups of matter. We call these groups states of matter. So matter come in 3 types. So these are solid, liquid, and gas. You have probably seen these words before. What is a solid? So examples of solids are wood, stones, metals, the book, your body. So those are examples of solids. What are examples of liquids? Liquids are perfume, water, oil, so anything cecair that is what we think of as liquid. What are gases? Gases are air, oxygen, chlorine, nitrogen gas, carbon dioxide gas, and so on. Even your breath is made out of air, which is a type of gas. This is another example of a matter that is a solid, liquid, and gas. So water is a type of liquid. And water, if you freeze it, it turns into ice. And ice is a type of solid. Water, if you heat it up, it turns into a gas. And this gas is what we call the steam or water vapor. So water can exist in 3 states of matter. So these 3 groups solids, liquids, and gases, like I said, we call them states of matter. These are some more examples of solids, liquids, and gases. So as you can see, pliers, it's a solid, hammer is a solid, saw is a solid, false teeth, that is also a solid. Soup is a liquid, milk is a liquid, river water is a liquid, melted snow is a liquid, and so on. As for gases, gases is steam from soup, the clouds are made from gases, and also gases that come from evaporation is also can be considered this state of matter as well. If you zoom into these objects, if you zoom into solid, zoom into liquid, and zoom into gases, you will see particles. But the particles are arranged differently for solids, liquids, and gases. So we will look at the particles of these states of matter next. We will look at the solid first. So if you have a solid, let's say if you have a saw and you zoom in, really zoom into the saw, what do the particles look like? The particles will look a bit like this. So this is what the particles look like inside a solid. You can see they are all arranged in order. So they are arranged like this and they are moving a bit and they move like this. This is what particles in liquid look like. So they are arranged like this and they move like this. What about gases? Gases, they look like this. Okay, so we're going to look at the properties of particles in solids, liquids, and gases next. So here I have a diagram of what those particles look like. This is what the particles in solids look like. These are for liquid, and this is for gases. For solids, you can see the particles are packed very closely together. For liquids, they are packed closely together but not as close as solids, whereas for gases, the particles are far apart from each other. So kalau solid, ia punya partikelnya semuanya dekat-dekat. Kalau liquid, dekat masih tapi ada jarak sedikit. Sama kalau gases, semua partikelsnya jauh-jauh. When we look at the arrangement for solids, the particles are arranged in a fixed regular pattern. So itu artinya particlesnya semuanya tersusun dengan rapi dan tersusun dengan bisai-bisai kerana susunannya. Kalau liquid, the particles are not arranged in a fixed regular pattern. So there is no arrangement or there's no pattern that can be seen here. So kalau liquid, nada indah disusun dengan rapi dan tiada susunan yang bisai untuk liquids. And for the gases, the particles are not arranged in a fixed regular pattern at all. So the particles all just arrange randomly and move around randomly. Solids, the particles are strongly attracted to each other. In other words, they are glued together and cannot move from their position. They cannot move further from their position. They just stuck there in place. For liquids, they are attracted to each other, but not as strong as solids. For gases, they are weakly attracted to each other. Next, we're going to look at the movement of these particles and the shape of these states of matter, so solid, liquids, and gases. We're going to look at what shape they can make and also what kind of volume that they can occupy. So how do the particles move? For solids, the particles do not move from their place. They can only vibrate in their fixed position. So they just stay in place, but they just vibrate at their place. Okay, kalau untuk solid, partikelnya indah bergerak, just stay di sana saja, tapi ia dapat vibrate arah positionnya tu. As for liquids, the particles move over short distances. So kalau untuk liquid, dia punya partikelnya dapat bergerak tapi dia bergerak cuma dengan jarak yang dekat sahaja. For gases, the particles move freely in any direction. So kalau untuk gas, partiklesnya dapat bergerak di mana saja dorang mau and di mana saja arah yang dorang mau. As for the shape, the solid has a definite shape. So, for example, like a cube, a triangle, a sphere, and so on. For liquids, the liquids have no definite shape. It takes up the shape of its container. So the liquid will fill up the container. It will be the same shape as its container. So if the container is a cone shape, then the liquid will become a cone shape. If the container is a cube, then the liquid will become a cube. So kalau liquid yang ada shape yang tetap, tapi kalau kamu masukkan liquid atau ke dalam container seperti galas kah, seperti kotak kah, liquid ato akan ikut bentuk kotak ato. Kalau ia kotak, then liquidnya pun bentuknya kotak juga. Kalau sekiranya ia bentuk galas, then liquid ato pun ikut bentuk galas ato juga. That is what we mean by it takes up the shape of its container. For gases, it has no definite shape, just like the liquid, and gases fill its container. So gases pun sama juga macam liquid, ia ada shape, ia ada bentuk, sama ia isi apa saja kontainer yang gas satu akan masukkan. So kalau kontainernya kotak, gasnya pun akan mengisi kotak atau kalau kontainernya bulat, then gas satu pun akan ikut shape kontainer atau. As for the volume, solids have a definite volume. Liquids have a definite volume. So in other words, solid ada volume yang tetap, liquid ada volume yang tetap, but gases have no definite volume. In other words, gases, the volume of gases depends on the container. If the container is big, then the gas has a big volume. If the container is small, then the gas has a small volume. So it depends on the container. Dalam arti kata lain, kalau sekiranya gas satu, pasal ia gas satu, ia punya sifatnya mengisi, ia punya bentuk kontainernya. Kalau sekiranya kamu masukkan gas ke dalam kotak yang besar, jadinya volume gas itu pun jadi volume yang besar. Kalau kamu masukkan gas dalam kotak yang damit, gas itu pun akan ikut volume kotak yang damit atau sama volumenya jadi damit juga. So gases have no definite volume. And to summarize, these are the things that you need to know for your exams. By the end of this lesson, what you need to know is you need to know that everything that exists around us, so most of the things that exist around us is matter, and matter is made up of tiny particles. As for states of matter, you need to know there are 3 states of matter. In other words, there are 3 types of matter or 3 groups of matter. These are called solid, liquid, and gas. And you need to be able to compare and explain the properties of the 3 states of matter. So you need to be able to tell how the particles in solids are arranged, how the particles in liquids are arranged, and how the particles in gases are arranged. So the particles in solids, they are arranged in a very orderly manner, karena susun dengan bisai-bisai macam mana usulnya, and that has a pattern. For liquids, they are arranged in a disorderly manner, so not that there's no pattern for how the particles are arranged. It's the same thing for gases. They do not have any particular arrangement. They are just arranged randomly, nada susunan yang tetap untuk gases. And you also need to know the movement of particles. So for solids, the particles do not move, they only vibrate. For liquids, they move but only in a short distance. For gases, they do move and they move quite far from each other, and they can move in any direction. The third thing that you need to know for your exam is you need to know the properties of solid, liquids, and gases when it comes to its shape. So solids have a definite shape, Liquids do not have shape, but they do follow the shape of the container. Gases, also the same thing. They do not have a definite shape, but they follow the shape of the container. And lastly, you need to know about the volumes of these states of matter. So for solids, the volume, it has a fixed volume. In other words, the volume stays the same regardless of where you put the solid. The liquids, the volume also stay the same. It has a definite volume, in other words. And lastly, for gases, gases do not have a definite volume. That means that the gases, the volume of the gas follows the volume of the container. And that is all for this week. Thank you all for watching. Stay safe. I'll see you again next week. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.